Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, I'm joined by my wife Dee.
Hi everybody, I hope you guys are having a great day.
In today's episode, we will be talking about Tory Lanez being found guilty. But before we begin, I just wanted to remind you guys that Truth Records is finally here. On December 30th, we will be releasing 2 songs on YouTube and all streaming platforms. I want to thank all my subscribers for helping me achieve this goal of making Truth Records a reality. I want to give a special thank you to my Patreons and Truth Movement members, as all your support has helped in the funding of the label. I will be hosting a special release for Truth Movement members and Patreons a couple days before the release, so you guys can get to hear it first. Thank you all. Now let's get right into it. Yesterday on December 23rd, 2022, Tory Lanez was found guilty of all 3 charges. Despite the trial revealing the case had plenty of inconsistencies, Tory Lanez was still found guilty of all charges and is now awaiting sentencing. If you watched my last video I did on Meg and Tory just a few days back, then you should already know I predicted this very thing would happen. We must understand Tory Lanez wasn't just up against the prosecutor. He was also going against Roc Nation, who in my opinion had it out for Tory since the moment he refused to sign to them and went independent. Since the very beginning, Tory Lanez told us Roc Nation was trying to get rid of him, and it now appears they have succeeded. Tory made himself a target to those who ran the industry, and they made an example out of him. So much was revealed to me in this trial that I almost thought Tory might have had a chance of being found innocent, but that thought will quickly vanish as I know who Tory was up against. From the evidence revealed in trial, it was pretty obvious Megan's own best friend was the person who did that to her. One of the witnesses that testified in court even said out of their own mouth that they saw Meg and Kelsey getting physical with each other before witnessing Kelsey let off towards Meg. The witness also said that it appeared Tory had let go as well, only after Kelsey, as it appeared they wrestled for the peace. Kelsey, who was granted immunity in the case, was the prosecutor's key witness, but ended up being useless for the case as she didn't back up any of her previous testimonies given just months before. Instead, insisting she didn't remember anything from that day and admitting that she had previously lied about seeing Tory do that to Meg. Kelsey made herself an unreliable witness, making it easy to see the prosecutors had a weak case. In my opinion, Tory never had a chance. I believe this outcome was guaranteed since the start. The moment Tory said he didn't want to sign to Roc Nation or any label, he guaranteed this outcome for himself. In the last video, we went over Tory's Praise the Most High record, and in that song, Tory makes it clear that he felt the industry was against him for choosing to stay independent. Tory also painted the picture that Roc Nation was the devil and showed himself in a battle with the devil. Tory also said that the label contacted him early on, before Meg went public with the information. It would be in his best interest not to make a statement, telling Tory that he would regret it if he did. Tory started connecting dots early on, and I know he knew this was sadly coming. The only way Tory gets out of this is by signing to a major label if they still let him. If he does this, they would allow him to appeal and he would be found innocent. We all know Roc Nation has tremendous power and is making an example out of Tory, so no other artist would try to do the same. In my opinion, Meg Thee Stallion is a Masonic puppet, and she was instructed to do this to Tory. Whether the incident happened according to what Meg states, I'm not sure if it's true or not. I never truly believed Meg's explanation for what happened that night. I don't want to call her a liar, or that she's lying about any of this happening to her, but she kinda makes herself look like a liar. She lied about several things she mentioned in this case. She lied about being in a relationship with Tory, she lied about initially stepping on glass, and she also lied about having an altercation with her best friend Kelsey that night. Meg clearly lied several times, which made me feel her story wasn't credible. When I look into the information, it seems to me something else truly happened that night, and in my opinion, it was all a setup. Meg Thee Stallion and Kelsey were waiting for Tory at Kylie's party that night. Meg made sure Tory left with her that night, and even after Tory wanted to stay at the party, they made sure to drag them with them. They all 3 began to argue the moment they got in the car, and things went left from there. I think it's also important to note that Tory went on Academics' Twitch stream back in 2020, before all of this happened. This is when Tory had just went independent, and he was revealing some very important information about the record industry.
Here it is. Check this out. Okay, so let me break down what he's saying. He's going through the stages of a record deal and a rapper getting on.
Popping, oh my gosh. You gotta get signed. You're gonna get signed one day. Boom. Let's give you a big advance. Cause you're popping. Oh, you're popping. Let's just give you a big ass advance. You're popping. Here's $5 million. You sign the deal now, right? They say, yo, you got $100,000, right? You get Kelsey video because we know the song is crazy, 100,000, like, woo, and you like, I bet, you know, I got 5 million. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Well, first, let's really just break this 5 million down for a second, okay? You have, no, you have 1 million or 2 million maybe for your advance pocket. Yeah. That's just for you to have in your pocket. You know, that's the advance that thank you for signing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you should do just so you have it. We have the other 3 million so we can market you because you're so big, brother. How can we, if we need a big budget to market you, your song's going to be big. At this point that these streams make this money, you don't know because no one's telling you this. No one's telling you, like, these royalty checks, I made $10 million off the streams that I'm seeing. And it's like, yo, I deserve to be compensated. And furthermore, I should have paid out my advance now because, you know, I got signed for $5 million, I made $10 million. I paid my back. No, brother. We made $10 million. We made $10 million. You made 1.8, right? And furthermore, we just spent $1 million in marketing. So let's take that down to 8. Hey, at least I got 500,000. They gave me 500,000 off this record. Oh, my record is still making a certain amount of money every single day. Your record is still, the first record still accumulating sales every single day. They're still getting paid off those sales, and you're only getting 18%. Now listen, 18% is if you're popping. You weren't super popping when we first signed, brother. So you didn't get 18%. You got 5%.
Tory was on there talking about how record labels were screwing over their artists, giving them bad record deals with terrible royalty splits, tricking artists into taking large advances to put them in debt. I made a video on the dark truth about record labels, and it breaks all this down really well. It is actually my biggest video, so if you want to know more about the dark truth about the record industry, check that video out next. Not only was Tory independent, but he understood how the industry robbed artists, potentially telling other artists, messing up the way the record labels scam these artists. The industry will not let artists like Tory Lanez multiply. They always make sure to get rid of the problem early because they don't want more artists to know they're being scammed. D, the reason I wanted you to be on this video with me is because I wanted to get a female's point of view of the entire situation. I don't necessarily not believe Meg. Early on, I wanted to give Meg the benefit of the doubt, but the thing is, I understand how the music industry works, and I already had seen that Meg Thee Stallion appeared to be a Masonic puppet. When I started looking into the situation and I started hearing the details that her herself was putting out there, the things that she said Tory said to her just made the entire thing seem like a lie since the beginning. You know, she said that Tory told her B-word dance when he let go at her. That just seemed like something straight out of a movie. And then on top of it, a lot of the story just never truly added up to me. So what do you feel about this entire situation?
From the beginning, from the first video that we did about this situation, it was already kind of fishy, you know? She supposedly got hurt in her foot. She was supposedly given a really bad injury. But then, you know, she was also playing victim really good, you know, in that interview that she did. While Tory's over here on live saying that the label told him that it's in his best interest if he stayed quiet. So that right there is just kind of a red flag. Like, why are they trying to keep him quiet from saying his side of the story on what happened when she's already over here playing her part, telling the story, you know, just blatantly blaming it on this man, and they're trying to keep him quiet and not allowing him to say anything. So that right there already to me made me feel like it was very suspicious that they were just trying to attack him. And you have already stated personally why they were trying to attack him. They wanted him to sign over to them and he wasn't trying to.
So you feel that Meg Thee Stallion appears to be lying, right? Or at least her story doesn't add up, right?
Yeah, her story is definitely not adding up. From the first day that it happened, like if you got an injury and you're in the hospital, okay, how are you following that on stage, performing and dancing with the same injured foot? It just doesn't make sense. People are usually on bed rest, in crutches, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and even all that, like just how the situation played out, the story was kind of shifty from the beginning. Because if Tory really did this to her at the beginning, I wouldn't see Meg getting back in the car with Tory after it happened, because she actually gets back in the car after all this happened, after the altercation with her and Kelsey, after she accuses Tory of letting go at her and all this, she decides to get back in the car with Tory. That right there never made sense to me. Then on top of it, when she never said nothing after the incident happened and blamed it on something completely else, making what seemed to be a false narrative, saying that she didn't want nothing to happen to Tory, so she didn't snitch on him. It just didn't add up to me early on. But I knew since this started to play out that it wasn't going to be a positive outcome for Tory unless Tory turned around and once again signed over under a label and let them control him. Like, if we look at his Praise the Most High music video, he clearly depicts himself having this battle against the devil, having this battle against the record industry, them trying to force him to sign and him denying it. He's putting the imagery out there and he shows himself in the court case. So I honestly feel like Tory knew this was going to happen. I feel like he was trying to convince people, trying to see if he can win the public over and see if that can help him in any way. But I feel like this was already guaranteed. And it's sad because I'm not saying that Tory wasn't a part of the industry. It's obvious that he was also a part of the industry, but you can tell that he seemed like he was trying to escape, that he was trying to get out, and he almost did, but it cost him all this. Rock Nation doesn't play. Rock Nation saw Tory as that one artist that is trying to free all the artists, go independent, start telling other artists, hey, well, you can do this independent, you can make a lot more money. The record label's really robbing you. They're taking this much money from you. Tory could have been that artist, and the record label wasn't about to let that happen. They knew they had to get that quick, and that's exactly what we see happen here. My opinion on the case doesn't change because Tory was found guilty. I already said Tory was going to be found guilty, even if they would have proved everything to be false, which I believe they did. Kelsey, who was the key witness, like I said, was found to be lying about most of what she was saying. Out of her own mouth, she admits that she was lying. And it does appear she had definitely has something to do with what happened to Meg that night. But the thing is, like I said in the previous video, I think that they were working together. I think that this was all planned and this was done to get Tory.
Most definitely. This is not the first time situations like this have happened. It's essentially, blackmailing in a way to get something that you want. We've seen this with the Suge Knight and the Vanilla Ice situation. He wanted to get what he wanted and he made sure that he got it. And this is the same thing that they did with Tory. I think it's super messed up and way severe though, because they're messing with this man's life. Not only is he going to serve time, he won't be able to come back over here. They're going to send him back to where he's from. And I think that's just completely messed up. Over music rights, they're messing with this man's life.
What is being said is that he's most likely going to get deported because of the incident. Chances are he's going to appeal, but I don't think that things are going to change because, like I said, unless Tory goes and turns around, apologizes to the industry, shows them that they won, let them take control again, sign over, this is sadly what's going to be his outcome. He chose this path, and in a way, I feel like this is the best option for him because it's liberating. You understand? He's able to start over and he doesn't have to be a slave to the industry. He would never have industry support again, and the industry's definitely not going to ever support him. They're never going to give him another chance if he doesn't turn around now, apologize, sign the deal, and, do whatever they tell him to do. It's a dirty game, and we know how this game is played, and I'm not the type of person to say I told you so. This is not my intentions, but I want to make sure you guys understand that a lot of this is already right there in the open for us to see before it happens. We just have to look a little deep into it, and we start to see things for what they really are. I called this because it was written all over it since the beginning. Tory was going to be found guilty no matter what. Well, that's it for this episode, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye, everybody. I hope you guys have a great weekend.
I just wanted to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you'd like to further support the channel, join the Truth Movement, or you can join me on Patreon where I drop exclusive videos monthly. The link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by checking out the Truthfist store and seeing if you find anything you like. Every purchase you make helps with the funding of Truth Records. The link to the Truthfist store is also in the description. Also, please leave a comment on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. If you like this video, please leave a like as it helps other people find these videos. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram and follow me there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.